Good morning. We are Team Coca-Cola. Zena, Justin, Jasmine, Jenna, and the old guy, me, Michael. We hope you enjoy our presentation. Coca-Cola is the largest beverage company in the world with over 550 brand names. They produce everything from Coca-Cola to teas, orange juice, bottled water, energy drinks, and diet drinks. Coca-Cola started their company in 1902. In the last 112 years, they have become the largest producer of beverages in the world, with over 500 brands. They sell and manufacture everything from, of course, Coca-Cola to Minute Maid orange juice, specialty teas, glacier water, monster beverage drinks. Coca-Cola has one of the most incredible marketing teams in history. They have done everything to sell their product, from teaching the world to sing in perfect harmony to taming one of the most feared NFL linebackers, Mean Joe Green, to even going to the moon on the Apollo missions. Coke has even found a way to get Santa Claus and a bunch of polar bears on the North Pole to drink their product. Coke is also famous for their product placements in every kind of movie and television show for the last 50 years. 83 years after Coke was founded, Coke, receiving great competition from Pepsi, decided to change their formula and roll out New Coke in 1985. Well, you would have thought the world was coming to an end. Coke's stock price plummeted overnight. People were actually rioting and picketing outside of Coca-Cola's headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Pepsi saw the opportunity and started promoting the Taste Challenge in the mid-80s. In the mid-90s, Pepsi, Coke's biggest competition, decided to use pop singer Britney Spears to roll out a new ad campaign. This cut into Coke's market share by 15%.
In this slide, there are a few examples of Coke's company taking advantage of financial, resource, and health benefiting opportunities. The financial incline is based on Coke's 16.7 stake in Monster. To save a major resource, Coke plans to replenish every drop of water they use. On the healthy end of change, Coke plans to drop their sugar levels by 2020. Here are a few more examples of Coca-Cola's opportunities: still beverages and soda alternatives, investments in other brands, Coca-Cola stock, share a Coke marketing strategy, Coca-Cola scholarships, high gross profiting margin, huge bottling/distribution network, emerging markets for different bottled beverages, both sparkling and healthy, consistently growing cash flows equals rising dividend for investors, a promise to reduce U.S. beverage calorie consumption, i.e. smaller size bottles, less sugar, promote calorie awareness, etc. Global market equals opportunity to increase Coca-Cola's economic system, opportunity to expand supply chain network and gain even more competitive advantage over its competitor Pepsi.
One of the biggest threats for any soft drink company is the changing health consciousness attitude of the market and the fact that the market is already saturated with carbonated drinks. This causes competition with other beverage companies and even with indirect competitors. Although Coke is known globally, globalization's removal of barriers increases the amount of entries into the market. Globalization also causes difficulties when it comes to complying with different government regulations and norms in different countries. Also, more recently, raw material sourcing, such as the water scarcity in some countries, has been an issue for Coke, as well as the legal requirements which require the disclosure of potentially negative information on product labels that can be associated with decreasing gross profit and net profit margins. Now that you have a general understanding of our company's SWOT analysis, it's time we address their main problem. Although Coca-Cola is known as such a universal name in the soft drink market, they are currently struggling to find ways to compete in the evolution of beverage preferences. As global awareness is growing and obesity rates are rising, Coke needs to find ways to stay with the times. Our intent for this case study analysis was to find what changes Coca-Cola can make to sustain economic growth in an evolving market that has now placed an emphasis on greener practices and healthier living. The alternatives our team came up with that directly address our problem are: 1. Substitute corn syrup and sugar for natural sweeteners like stevia. 2. Maintain water resource renewal efforts. 3. Explore bottling alternatives that increase the recyclable value of the product's packages. 4. Branch out into the health snack food market. 5. Invest in beverage companies that already serve a strong market. 6. Shift all marketing efforts to show how Coca-Cola cares about the quality of life for its community and society. Or 7. A combination of alternatives 1, 2, 3, and 5. In the first criterion chart pictured here, all alternative solutions are weighted equally on a scale from 1 to 5. A score of 1 signifies the lowest level of desirability, and a score of 5 indicates the highest degree of desirability. Alternatives here are scored and compared against one another in positive and negative criterion categories that include feasibility, effectiveness, efficiency, profitability, costs, risks, time, and ethical correctness. Now take a look at the differences here. Again, in the second criterion chart, alternative solution number 4 receives the lowest score, and the combo solution receives the highest. However, this chart differs from the first in that the profitability criterion has been weighted higher at 150%. The reason for this being that in order to address a problem that directly relates to the financial health of the Coca-Cola company, it's highly important to find a solution that's profitable. So why was alternative 4 rated so low in both charts? Aside from its high score of desirability for the ethical correctness of promoting healthy eating habits, this alternative warrants extremely low scores for feasibility, effectiveness, efficiency, profitability, cost, risks, and time. Since Coca-Cola is a beverage company, in order to sustain economic growth, they must continue to keep focusing on their beverages. Branching out into the health snack food market would be a huge investment with even bigger costs. An endeavor this diverse would require the building of entire new departments and factories. It's taken years to get Coca-Cola's current state of notoriety and respect. It seems highly unlikely that they would be able to have the same success in the snack industry unless they had an incredible amount of time and an unlimited amount of funds to just come up with new food products and strongly establish those new product lines. The combo solution turned out to be a clear winner when compared to all other alternatives, especially because it combined the solutions that would resolve the problem from all angles. This combination is why Coke already is the largest beverage company in the world. As long as Coca-Cola balances out the market for their true Coke fans, along with the health conscious by merging with companies that do target their products, they can remain successful and find a new formula for their soda that doesn't drastically alter the taste. Also, by continuing the water resource renewal and recycling efforts, Coke will also address the environmental issues currently posed. To implement the best solution, for starters, Coke should continue investing in companies like they did with Monster. Some companies to consider include more or all of Keurig, Starbucks, and SodaStream. Even better, Coke should consider taking the all-natural and higher-end market approach with companies such as Reed's, Primo Water, and Jamba. In order to substitute corn syrup and sugar for healthier alternatives, Coke would have to find the appropriate formula through testing and sampling. If, say, for example, they decide stevia is the right fit, then they have to work with stevia suppliers. Test groups are necessary to hear the consumer's comments and then make the desired improvements. A new formula would require a modification of the manufacturing process and more advertising to address the changes. Some steps to implement less of a carbon footprint include looking for lightweight, recyclable, paper-based cartons, which also communicates sustainability values to consumers, finding new packaging companies, working with designers and packaging specialists, turning to novel shapes and smart graphics to increase shelf appeal of the products, and working with focus groups for objective feedback. It's anticipated that cartons will continue their steady rise in the U.S. beverage market.
If sugar levels are dropped and plastic levels are reduced, there will be feedback from the top of the chain all the way down. The consumer will give feedback on the taste, cost, and presentation of the product change. The only way to change the market is to change the customer's interest. Then the customer will give feedback to the clerk. The clerk listens to what the customer has to say and relays that information to the store manager. The store manager also hears what the delivery driver has to say, then gives feedback to the sales representative, who goes and takes that information to corporate, who takes that information to the board of directors, and that information goes all the way to the top to the CEO of the company.